All right, YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you'll give me a second, I've never gone live on YouTube before. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is January 7th, 2023. Give me 1 second. Now, why am I going live on Facebook? On YouTube, because I'm going live on Facebook here in a second as well. Local 1000 is having its board meeting. It's an emergency board meeting this morning. And they kicked me out. So give me a moment. I'm going to go live here on Facebook. Give me 1 moment here. I am going live on Facebook at the same time. And so here we go. Let's get it going on here. Let's get it. I'm going to go live and I'm going to start over on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is January 7th, 2023. As you know, I was duly elected as Local 1000 president in May of 2021. I'm doing a live Facebook this morning, along with going live on YouTube. As you know, there's a special board meeting to determine my fate as the duly elected president. And so I went this morning. I asked, would I be allowed to ask some questions? And I was told no. They said you can make a statement. And I said, well, I have a series of questions I want to ask as a board of director. They would not allow me to do that. Let me repeat for you again. This special board meeting called by the illegal chair, Bill Hall, he's the DLC 744 president. They would not allow me as a board of director to ask questions. They said, we have the report in and you can make a statement. I said, I don't have any statement to make about what the arbitrator said about me. Okay? That's what I said. Now, let's talk about this for a second. They kicked me out of a meeting that I'm a board of director. They said, well, the meeting's about you, and so we're going to put you out of this meeting after you make your statement. And I said, I don't have a statement to make. I want to ask a couple questions. Good morning, Al. I want to ask a couple questions. They would not allow me to ask a couple questions. They said, you can make a statement. Other than that, that's it. Good morning, Ali. They would not allow a board of director to ask a question. When they did the roll call this morning, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer David Jimenez called everyone by their title but me. He called everyone president or bunk chair, whatever. But when it came to me as the last person called, he just said Richard Lewis Brown. He could not find the courage to call me correctly the president. This is a live, unscripted, unedited video. I thought, I'd be in that meeting all day. But I was wrong. They put me out. Now, he says that he put Annika Walls, the VP Organized Representation, he claims he put her out too. We don't know. She's still watching somehow, some way, but they removed me from the meeting. So you're probably wondering, Richard, are you mad? No. I know a lot of you are mad. A lot of you are upset, but no, I am not mad. When I told you when I was elected that they was going to do anything they could to get rid of me, you thought that I was being paranoid. I see you, Cheryl Butters. But I want people to understand something. Local 1000 is not a union. It's a social justice organization, but it's really a financial aqueduct to the Democratic Party. Okay? Now, I've asked people to work with me and help me create a new culture for Local 1000. We are a country of democracy, a country based on democracy or capitalism or a mixture of both. When I told you that my Black life didn't matter, you thought I was being a little too racial. When they told me to suck a dick, and I said that was racist and homophobic and sexist, you said that maybe I overreacted. When I told you that DLC 744 President, good morning, Elizabeth, that I told you DLC 744 President Bill Hall called me a nigger, you said show you the proof. But when I showed you the phone text proof of DLC 786 President Teresa Taylor saying, quote, DLC 786 says that ROB can suck a dick, that wasn't good enough for you. When her daughter re-verified it by saying I could eat a dick, that didn't convince you of what I was up against. When DLC 724 member D-Bird, Denise Quinn Allen said, what a dick, on August 11th, 2021, that wasn't good enough for you. When Monica Blancarty called me a motherfucker in November of 2021, you said that she said that with love and affection. So today, when everyone keeps begging me to go to these board meetings, and I said it doesn't matter, the meetings are illegal, and even if I go, they're not going to allow me to talk anyway. I went to the December 20th board meeting. They wouldn't allow me to talk. Today, they said, you can make one statement, and then we're putting you out of here. Is there any doubt in anyone's mind there was a predetermined effort before I was even sworn in, and I gave you the evidence that they were going to remove me from office? Now, I told you, I got a phone call after I won, and it was announced on May the 24th, unofficially. That week, it was either Wednesday or Thursday of that week, I got a call from Mish Black Sherrill saying, quote, Annika Walls and others are working together on how they can, quote, use the HR1 process to remove you from office. I hadn't even been sworn in yet. Okay? I got a call that week from Mish Black Sherrills. Anybody that sees her on Facebook, you should call her out and ask about when she called me. She called her friend, who's also on Facebook, on a three-way call that week. Her name is Lisa Adams. And they were distraught. This Mish and Lisa were distraught because Sophia Perkins, who had run for Local 1000 president in 2018 and in 2021, with Annika and David and Kevin, she called Mish saying they're working together now. They're doing conferences, telephone conferences, on how to use the HR1 process to remove Richard from office. And he hasn't even been sworn in yet. And she was distraught, and it made Mish and Lisa upset. Then you heard me on my video in April of 2022, Courage of My Convictions. You heard DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz come on and say, yes, I was there at those telephone conferences. It's true. And then you heard another DLC president, DLC 705, Miche Roy, come on and verify it. That's correct. Officer Annika Walls and VP Secretary Treasurer Kevin Miniger, that's correct. That is correct. So when they were having the telephone conferences, we hadn't been sworn into our new positions yet. So when you see Kevin Miniger on Facebook, he was part of those telephone conferences on how to remove me from office before I was even sworn in. They was going to use the HR1 as the mechanism to remove me from office. That's outside of the Bill Hall situation when he did the lawsuit against me. I keep saying these things to you over and over and over again. Local 1000 never had any intention on honoring the result of the election. They never, ever had any intention. Then they went out and found himself a black man an older black man, distinguished, highly educated, to rule against me. So they could say, we're not racist. Here's this older black man. He's made his decision, and the decision is to quote, I might as well just tell you, I've been telling you all along to get rid of me. They found him someone they could pay off. Homer LaRue. Look him up. Look his. Look up Homer LaRue. He's the president of the United States Arbitration Association. He talks about wanting to get other black people involved in arbitration. He talks about equality for black people. But he's a liar. He's a fraud. Or when someone's paying you enough money, you don't care about other black people and the racism they're going through. When someone pays you enough money, then you'll do what you have to do. There are some black people from the community who are like that. I praise God through Jesus Christ that Dr. King and Malcolm X and the Black Panthers and Marcus Garvey and Shirley Chisholm were not like that. They found him an older black man to rule against me. Then, let me show you how racist this is. Then, when they send the email out to the board on the hearing report and the summary from Homer LaRue, the independent arbitrator, so they claim, but they're paying him out of your money to get me out of office. They're paying that man, how much? Who knows? To remove your vote. Then they leaked it to SAC-B. And you know what? I'm going to put up the phone text that I had with the lady from SAC-B. She says, I already have the report. Well, that's funny because the email they sent out to me and the board of directors it was on the 4th, ironically, right before my video that night, Wednesday, telling people this is confidential information, you can't talk about it. But yet it got leaked to SAC-B, and SAC-B is reading the report and telling you things from the report in the news media before today. And then they say, Bill Hall said in that report or in that article that he wants me to have a fair hearing. Well, how can I have a fair, unbiased hearing when I don't even get a chance to sit and hear what they say about me? How can I get a fair hearing? The report's out. SAC-B has it. Well, Richard, if SAC-B has it, then I want to see it. So you want to see the report? Did you contact SAC-B and say, hey, send me a copy of those reports on Annika Walls and Michael Gus? Did you do that, or did you just sit back and complain? Did you go to SAC-B in the comments and say, we want a copy of the report because it's our money that paid for Homer LaRue to get Richard out of office? Did you do that? Or did you just sit on your ass and complain on Facebook? Or did you take action? I'm just asking. Did you take action? You asked me, what actions have you taken? I filed a lawsuit because they, quote, should have indemnified me because I did my job in good faith. I have filed PERB complaints. Have you filed a PERB complaint because they're trying to silence your vote? Did you file a PERB complaint? I did. It's up on my website. So when you call me out and you ask me what actions have I taken, my question to you is this: have you gotten off your ass and done something yourself? That's the question I want to ask you. Have you got off your ass and done the work yourself? Or are you like so many other state employees? You sit on your ass, you get on Facebook, you complain endlessly, but you don't do anything. And then you wonder why your contract's not enforced. because you don't demand that your contract is enforced. You don't demand accountability from your union. All you do is go to work and complain. Complainers don't produce capitalism. Complainers don't put the power in democracy. All right, so I wanted to ask some questions this morning in the video. And so I'll read you the list of questions that I had. Now, people say, well, how do people know you got kicked out? Because I'm talking about I just got kicked out of the board meeting. Your money. They do everything in secret. I had a platform, and the same person that called that meeting in that illegal position never received not one vote. 33 of these 51 DLC presidents didn't get a vote. So who are they representing? They're representing themselves, and they're representing status quo. They are representing the status quo that's been part of our union that's based in politics from the Democratic Party. So let me read you the list of questions I had this morning. My first question would have been, what policy file are you using in regards to, quote, this special board meeting about determining my future as the Local 1000 president? Because they retaliated against me and suspended me on February 27th because I had suspended them of their official duties on February the 25th because they were trying to do things that were detrimental to the union. Okay? Then I was going to ask, how can I get a fair hearing with the policy file being violated because the HR1 report was leaked to the public? Okay? Then I was going to ask, why was I not allowed to speak on December 20th at that board meeting? Then I was going to ask, when did I have the opportunity to challenge the selection of the hearing officer? Okay? Now, I don't know what they're doing right now in the board meeting. Nobody knows. Do you think I'm going to get a fair chance in this board meeting? You know I won't. Did I sleep okay last night? I slept just fine. When you allow your president to be told to suck a dick, when you allow your president to be called a nigger, then what do you expect? But you don't do anything. All you do is sit back and complain. But you haven't taken any strong actions. They went out and hired somebody to do their bidding, an older black man. He's no different than those Africans in Africa who sold other Africans into slavery. Let me repeat that for you. Some Africans were stolen from Africa, but there were some Africans that would sell other Africans into slavery because of money. The reason why they were trying to run me out of office is because of money. Let me repeat this for you again at almost 11 o'clock on the 7th of January. They're trying to run me out of office because of money, because we were going to fight and get a 21% pay increase across the board for everyone. And because I said we're not going to be involved in politics, we're not going to spend endless amounts of money on these politicians, they said, get them out of here. And what would aggravate the money? Because I'm an outspoken, educated, military veteran black man. That's what aggravated it. So it's about the money, but me being black did not help it. It aggravated the situation. If I was, quote, with my pants sagging with some gold in my grill, talking a whole lot of yin yang, this and that, I would be acceptable. Because then I could go and march to Black Lives Matter and say, hey, my Black Life matters. But that would make white people feel comfortable. But what white people in this country can't feel comfortable about is when someone from the black community who's educated, articulate, defiant, and you cannot manipulate or buy off. That is something you can't handle, white America. And the percentage of white America is in this union, and they don't want me around. And here's the most telling part about this. If I was screaming and yelling and fighting for black people, and white folks said they didn't want to hear it, that I could respect. Because they didn't bring us over here to have a voice. Not all the white people, but a percentage of white America is still racist, and a bigger percentage is still prejudice. And they don't find black people as being their equal. And when they do find you as being their equal, that's because you're doing everything they tell you to do. You don't fight the status quo. You don't fight the powers to be. You want a quick example of that? Look at Juneteenth. None of these so-called black leaders in the state of California challenge Gavin Newsom and say, what the hell do you mean you won't make that a paid holiday? They sat quietly. But yet, they tell you how great we are because now we have an African-American in the House of Representatives, Mr. New York, Hakeem Jeffries, doing amazing work. That's fantastic. Great for Hakeem. But we still have problems. And that's a reflection of our union. Yeah, we had an African-American who ran the union for 13 straight years, but she was part of the status quo. She knew her place. And so when I was saying to you, I wasn't fighting for black people's rights. I was fighting for all of us. And the majority of all of us in this union are white people. And because I was fighting for the white people in Lassen County to save their jobs, save that community, because I know it's wrong, they said, you got a price to pay for fighting for white people. How dare you try to bring conservative whites together with other whites under the banner of, quote, fighting for wages and better working conditions. How dare you do that, Richard? How dare you? Shame on you, Richard. No, not shame on me, shame on you. All right, so what now? Well, I have my PERB complaint in. I'll have to probably file another PERB complaint. Public Employment Relations Board, they oversee public sector unions in the state of California, not the National Labor Relations Board. This is the Public Employment Relations Board, PERB. They oversee public sector unions in the state of California. You have a complaint with your union, 3512, you're not being able to participate in your union fully, file a complaint. What are you waiting on? I've already filed 2 already. They kicked me out this morning. They did not want me to hear what they had to say about me. They wouldn't even allow me to watch the vote. They'll send out an email on Monday saying that they had to remove me from office. They won't tell you that SACB was wrong on that confidential information that they talked about. They'll say that they had to do it to save the union. And then if they don't get a good contract, which you know they're not going to, they're going to try to blame me for it. You know, I've really done all I can do. You don't have to call me and say how sorry you are. I don't want to hear about how sorry you are about what I'm going through. I want to see you take action. And it doesn't have to be organized action. That's an absolute lie. It doesn't have to take a whole group of people to do something. If you think I'm wrong, look at the Republican Party. It took Kevin McCarthy how many tries? 15. Because they had some people who refused to be bought off, to be manipulated. Okay? So I have never quit on you. Many of you have quit on the union. Many of you have said, Richard, they kicked you out of the union, I'm gone. All right, I respect that. Because they're not respecting your voice. I never told you to quit the union, but at a certain point, I said, don't stop believing. Don't ever give up. But at a certain point, people have their breaking points. Now, they've been trying to break me for a while. Let me tell you something. They'll never break me because racism will never break me. Some black people talk about racism and they hate all white people. I don't do that. There's a lot of good white folks walking around in America, and they don't ever get any damn respect. Not these ones who act like they're so righteous and there's so much for black people and there's so much for the gay rights and all this and that. No, that's a front. That's a damn front. I'm talking about there's some good white people that don't make it to the TV screen. There's some good white people in this state. There's some good white people in Lassen County. There's some good white people in this union. Okay? And I'm not going to let a few bad apples from the white community destroy it. That won't happen because I'm not going to let a few bad apples from the black community hopefully not destroy the good white people. And every community has good people and bad people. It doesn't matter. Every religion's the same way. But the fact is this. When you see me, you don't see me as an American. First, you see my color because my color radiates the room. We don't have the same legacy, the same foundation coming to America looking for freedom. My ancestors didn't come here looking for no freedom. We were just fine back in Africa. So our foundation is different, but our hope for success is still the same. I still have hope for success for Local 1000. Now we're going to keep fighting with PERB, and hopefully PERB won't be bought off like this arbitrator Homer LaRue was bought off. I mean, go and look this man up. He's been bought off, but he talks his game that he's so proud to be black. That's a lie. It's a lie. I know him when I see him from my community. The fact is, I suspended their official duties on February 25th, and it's in the letter. But they don't care about facts. See, people only care about facts when it supports what they want to do. But when it doesn't support what they want to do, then they go into other things. But that's the foundation of this country. They talk about the Constitution and all men were, quote, created equal. But if you were black, forget about it. You were just property. Okay? So people want to talk about facts when it suits their needs. They don't bring up facts when it doesn't suit their needs. As a board of director, I was asking, can I ask a couple questions? They said no. All right, so I'm almost at 30 minutes here. I'm going to shut this down. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. And to everyone who voted for me, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to fulfill my 10-point platform. Now, I'm still fighting through PERB. Now, PERB may go against me. If PERB goes against me and the arbitrator who's been bought off, he went against me, then there's a good chance I probably won't win in court. No RLB, no contract in 2023. I agree. I was voted to be your chief negotiator because they knew we were going to shut the state down. They knew it. That's a great saying from Darren Stahl. No RLB, no contract in 2023. No RLB, no contract in 2023. I'd take it a few steps further. I want to thank everyone for this morning for tuning in. I did a live Facebook and a live YouTube. I've never done that before. And, you know, they'll make their announcement about, quote, my future here in the email. So we'll keep fighting. Don't give up on life. But I'm asking everyone, you got to take action. And you don't have to take organized action. That's an absolute lie. Everyone's trying to wait for everyone else to get together. It starts with one person and it builds from there. All right. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is January 7th, 2023. I want to thank you so much for listening. And stay tuned because there's more stuff coming. All right. Have a great day. Have a good weekend, everyone.